this is not has sexual partners, but do you guys think the more partners a woman has, the more people she compares him to?
Yes. Yes. I've been saying this forever. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and expand on it.
And isn't it some science? Isn't it? You know, we talk about pair bonding and all thing. I know Mr. Let Go knows a lot about this because he counsels a lot of these women. Yeah. So isn't it something about pair bonding? The more sexual partners that you have, the more difficult it's going to be for a woman to be able to be sexually aroused, sexually, incentivized to fuck you, because she's thinking about a whole bunch of different motherfuckers. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys sometimes think about a different motherfucker when you fucking somebody else. Maybe you do. Fellas, sometimes you probably got to think about fucking a different woman just to come.
Yeah. So I really think it's funny. Well, not even funny. It's interesting that they release the same hormone that they release when they're giving birth so they can bond with the child. So that to me is very strong. It says a lot. That really? And I believe, Mr. Let Go, I think I watched your piece on this. So correct me if I'm wrong. The more sexual partners they have, they lose their ability to have that hormone affect them. And now they're looking for like dopamine, like a man does when he's about to ejaculate.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So it's like, women naturally want to have babies, have family. Just even if you look at, like, as an example, I don't want to go off the rails or whatever, but if a woman seeks other women naturally because women are smaller, and they're not necessarily used to being around other women like males are. But and I said in another video here, where in middle school or elementary school at a school dance, the little boys are over here and the little girls are over here. So at that age, we're pair bonding with the same sex because it's about safety. But once a young girl has had all this sex, or she's M'd or she's R'd, she no longer sees people as safety anymore. So she doesn't feel the need, because of the lack of safety. Somebody, hurt her, and then she went to her mom, and her mom denied her of the protection. So now she doesn't trust girls because her mom is a girl, and she doesn't trust boys growing up. So now she's just like, all right, I'm out here by myself. And then your attachment style turns into disorganized, which is negative self, negative other. And the negative self-thought process is, I don't think anybody will ever protect me. So what's the use, right? Pair bonding. And then it's a negative other, whereas I don't think anybody is. So it's like, I don't think I'm worthy of somebody's protection because my own mother denied me a protection when I told her that so-and-so did A, B, and C to me. So now I don't think that within myself. And then I don't think anybody out here in the world would even want to do it, or they're capable of doing it, because everybody's trash. So now you're like, what's the use? So because of that, you no longer have the need to pair bond or to want to pair bond, because you don't believe pair bonding is actually a thing. And your belief system is part of how your hormones actually flow through your system. If you like Quest grew up in the military, right? Somebody kicks his door in, a certain hormone is going to flow through his system differently than somebody who ain't never been through nothing. An average man, right? A certain amount of adrenaline is going to flow through. He going to be more ready than us. We're going to be a little scared, like, oh shit. So we're going to be more compelled to run away from it, but Quest may be more compelled to run towards it because of what he's been through in Afghanistan or whatever. And these all are hormones. So when it comes to a woman, it's about what she wants and what she believes. And if a woman doesn't believe that pair bonding or seeking safety and love from a man is a thing, she's just not going to do it anymore. And she's just going to become an emotional man where she's just going to fuck dudes left and right and just get the same things that we get from women, which is just a nut. And just like she said, men and women. because she is now a man emotionally due to the dopamine versus the oxytocin. She doesn't believe she should get oxytocin because it doesn't matter to her.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought this was we moving on, or was we were going back to the previous subject, right? Because I was thinking about this, the more partners a woman has just on a general average scale. Now, I totally agree with that, because if you think about it in a normal relationship, right, your first girlfriend, the first girl you was with, and women tell you all the time, especially, I'm not going to say names, but I done heard them say this before on panels, right? When a girl meets or she get with a man she digs, she starts taking on kind of his personality, right?
Talking like him, right? Using his words.
Most women are very impressionable when they really feeling the dude. Now you got to think about that, right? A woman being with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and taking on the traits and demeanors of them dudes, right? So again, she no matter what people say, right? No matter what people say. To me personally, this is my belief. I'm not no scientist. I'm not no psychologist. But it's super hard for a woman to move down from something. If she's up, it's totally like they refuse to come down, right? If you put a woman in a house, she'll never live in an apartment again. She can't see herself doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same with men. If she did a certain thing with a man and that was the first, everything else is compared off of that, right? If it was the first cruise she went on, that's what it was, right? Everything else she looked at like, okay, well, I went on a cruise with him. How was this cruise with you? And especially when it comes to sexual and in relationships, right? So that's why we always say, and I say, even though everybody be talking about, oh, you should be getting married at 35, but no, get married as soon as possible, because that way you guys can impress on each other, right? Y'all can make each other for each other, bro, instead of having that baggage you have from all them other people, bro, and those impression mental shit you gotta break, right? So yeah, the more partner a woman has, the more people she's gonna compare you to, and the harder it is for you to break down those walls, for her to drop them heavy ass bags, and for y'all to be in a self-sufficient, healthy relationship.
So y'all know what y'all just did, right?
Facts.
During this discussion, we just wrote the whole handbook, because I was talking to Logic on another thing, and he's like, you don't know how many bodies a woman got. We don't know, but now we can guess. So while y'all were talking, I wrote down some points, because this is actually really important, because for some reason, being married, people always want to bounce questions off of me and stuff. And at this age of 35 that I am, a lot of women that I know that aren't married from college and whatever, they starting to feel it. And I'm starting to see these exact behaviors in them. And when I talk to them about things like marriage, this is what I pick up. So women who are like this, that have had a lot of sexual partners, this is what I notice. Comparing their current boyfriend to others, trying to piece together the perfect man, dramatic drop in interest after the honeymoon phase, lack of intimacy during sex, unsettled with natural feminine role. That's a big one. And indifferent about marriage due to a fear of a lacking partner. I feel like that is like a handbook to show you that a woman has just had too many partners, and now they're just unsettled with the thought of being with one man, or they're trying to piece together the perfect man out of all these fake alphas, or he used to do it like that, and he used to hit it like this. And to me, that's just terrible. But damn.
But Trigger, that's what they're selling and targeting Black women, particularly the sexual liberation. Fuck as many guys as you want. It's okay. Have fun. Have fun, ladies. Hot girl summer. You come back around and settle for a man later. That's what they're selling to our girls. They're selling that shit to them.
He's right. I mean, he's right. And the thing about it, like for us, man, straight up, it's like this, and for women too, it's the dopamine. That dopamine is a neurotransmitter, bro, and it creates grooves in your brain. And the more, like just watching porn alone, man, you start creating more, and the more dopamine you have, the more you need. And
that's
so,
a fact.
Yo, bro, so it's like you constantly chasing that high. And I mean, you can reset it, but you got to stop. You got to stop. You got to reset. It can be reset, but honestly, man, you got to stop kicking it with so many people, because you're right. All you're going to be thinking about is what you had before, and you think is wrapped up in what they had and how they moved and what have you. You're trying to replace that. And the truth is, it doesn't really work like that. You're not going to get that back. I don't even want, there'll be a whole nother topic, but dopamine.
And let me say this. I just want to let me just say this one little thing. Just one little thing. To go with what KD said and what all y'all said. There is something called neuroplasticity, which means that whatever it is that you've been through, your brain can actually forget about all that other shit and then go do some other shit. Like I used to know Japanese. Me and my daughter learned Japanese together, right? I don't remember that shit, but guess what? It's because of neuroplasticity. There's parts of your brain that called glial cells that actually go around and prune the neurons that are no longer connected to other neurons. So with all that being said, all a whore really has to do is stop looking at porn, stop being a whore, start changing her life. And probably about, I don't know how long, because, you know, everybody's different. But if you expose yourself, because in the beginning, we was talking about exposure, experience, and education. If she starts educating herself, exposing herself to a new environment, and just changing the way she sees life, changing the way she sees her own parents, not just men, because her parents is actually the culprit, right? And she changes the way she sees everything. At some point, because I'm not going to put a timeline on it, at some point, she actually is no longer a hoe unless she goes back to her old shit. And it's a neurological thing.
But it doesn't change what the statement is. She can do all of that transitioning, but she's still going to be comparing.
Actually, she wouldn't, because like I said, I don't remember Japanese anymore.
Okay, that's not a person or an experience. You're going to remember.
If I start learning it, it's all going to come right back to me. It's all going to come right back to me. So that's when the exposure comes from. If you actually go in a different direction and you just like I said, just immerse yourself in a different way of thinking. And stay away from other shit.
No, I understand what you're saying.
What you're saying is,
hold on, real quick, Shane. What you're saying is that that dudes on the stage have changed. Well, we'll talk about you specifically. So you're saying that the women that you have slept with before, you have not slept with them since then. You forgot about who they are.
I literally forgot about how the pussy is. I forgot. Yeah. I literally.
You don't know who they are, is what you're saying.
I know who they are, but exactly. I don't remember how the pussy was.
But that's not. But what? Okay, I doubt. Okay, well, if you say that, all right. But if you remember that you had sex with them, you have an idea of who they were, even if it wasn't sex. But you encountering them, you have an idea of what their personality was, even though you have not been around them. So it's not the it's not.
She slept with 2,000 people. There's no personality. She don't remember nobody's personality. She slept with 2,000 people.
Well, I'm not. Well, I'm saying
it's enough of them.
She's able to compare, even if she was to change all the things in which you said, because you're talking about you're talking about an experience that you're having as we talked about sex, right? You're not talking about like learning Japanese, right? If you don't use it enough, then you're gonna lose it. Right.
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Right. But let me say that. Not the same thing.
Let him finish. Let him finish, Mr.
Go ahead.
Let him finish.
But I'm just saying that's not the same thing. Because I, as a teacher, right, when I'm communicating and talking to the students, I give you a prime example. Like I'm trying to remember 100 and some names. I can usually remember those names in a matter of about 2 weeks. But if I don't use those names, right, it doesn't mean that I don't remember the person. I just don't remember their name. But I remember encountering this kid because he's in my class, or even if he has left my class or she has left my class, I still remember who she was, not necessarily her personality. So what you're saying is connected to Japanese, but it's not connected to a person. And so she's connected her body to a person, which is different.
So let me go do some pushback to that. Like I said, if a woman has had sex with that many people, she don't remember nobody. She don't remember nobody. She don't even remember the best sex she ever had. Now we talk about a typical woman. Okay, that's a different story. She might remember this guy because of, like you said, the experiences along with the sex. All right. But if a woman is a full-blown hoe and she literally wants to change her life, and she goes over here and she's in a totally different environment and she's exposed into that environment and she actually accepts it, at some point she can literally change everything. And then going back with what Shannon said, if that is true that your pussy don't change or whatever, shit, her pussy is still straight, which I don't agree, but hey, you I didn't look it up, so I'm concurring with you. The pussy is straight, and if your mind is straight because you've been exposed to a different environment for a certain amount of time, you good. But as long as you don't allow yourself to relapse, because any person can relapse on some dick or on some crack or on some weed, on some cigarettes, but you can relapse. But as long as you stay focused on what you want to do, keyword want to do, everything in your life can actually change. It's people who've been in car accidents and half their brain is gone and they still can operate with a no problem.
Mr. Let Go, what you doing, brother? Is
Rio, so he can try to get in there. Go ahead, Shan.
Okay, well, what you doing, Mr. Let Go, is you're just like Humble Dad is saying, and even like you saying, the sex itself is the experience. It's not necessarily the people and all that, and the sex itself. So what you're saying is, if you take this woman, this hoe, and you bring her over into a new environment, she won't be a hoe no more. But as long as she's having sex, that's the experience that she's having. What you said was that the neurons get trimmed. They don't get trimmed, they get deactivated until they're reactivated. You don't forget how to swim. You don't forget how to ride a bike. And believe it or not, you didn't literally forget Japanese. You just been taken out of the environment. But if I send you to Nagasaki, if you go to Tokyo tomorrow, your ass is gonna be speaking fucking Japanese in a week. If I go to Tokyo,
so you prove my point.
But the point is, the neurons are being reactivated because you're in the environment.
Yes. She's gonna have
the environment is the bed. Yes. The environment, and what Humble Dad is trying to explain to you is, you're saying if this woman goes out and she just finds one husband and just starts having sex with that one guy, she's not going to remember anything about all those 2,000 people. And that's not the case. She will. But
I didn't say she can actually no longer have the need to sleep with different people, because that's what the whole actually is.
So what you're doing is you're saying that it's the person and not the actual act of having sex. I don't agree with that. I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree. Go ahead, Rio.
To speak to the question itself, the more partners a woman has, the more people she compares them to. I think absolutely, right? Absolutely. She's had more sex. So if anybody, she's able to give you an accurate evaluation of how you compare to her experience with those other sexual partners. That's not something that she's generally going to talk with you about, but she knows, right? She knows. So, with that being said, what qualifies her is her other experiences. It's the same. That's what qualifies her. She, and at some point, if she's like this female rapper, she's almost a professional at that point. Right? She definitely has a skill set. She has a ton of experience. This is literally what she does. So yeah, is she comparing you? Absolutely. You just have to be in reality. At the end of the day, you're not going to go into any environment to where there have been a number of other people who do the same job as you and just be convinced, just because you are who you are, that you're the best they've ever freaking seen. You know what I mean? Like that's not the reality. It can be, but the truth of the matter is, there have been other people who have come and done this same job, and based off of the quality of their work, they're able to compare how you amount in that role. So yes, you're naive if you're thinking she's not comparing. She is.
Hey, I'm gonna let Ricky go ahead. I want to right after Ricky. I've been waiting.
And I want to preface this again. I'm not no scientist or no psychologist, right? But getting penetrated is totally different. If you ever been stabbed or shot, the bullet can get taken out, the knife removed, but you still feel that shit. You still feel that shit. I got stabbed in the lung, bro, and I still get phantom pains. right? So don't tell me that her getting penetrated and shit can just be wiped. Like, I gotta think of myself like the pain I have when I get when my lungs start hurting, right? The mental gymnastics I have to perform just to go ahead and fight that pain off, knowing that there's nothing there. So yeah, that's all I get.
All right.
And
So
remember, you're talking about pain and not.
Hold on, Mr. Let Go.
That's
Hold
not
on.
pain.
Hey, Let Go. Hold on 1 second, bro. So I think what you're saying is very dangerous. And I think you slightly contradicting yourself a little bit based off of the two different topics that we just went over. In the first topic, you saying, well, you want to get to a space where, well, first off, you said that, yeah, she's still a whore and she's all these different things, right? That's what you're saying from the first situation. Woman that sleeps with 2,000 people, she's a whore. Don't agree with it. But then in the very next topic, we start talking about, well, and you wanted to talk to the young ladies. How can we get through to the young ladies? That's what I want to hit on. How can we get through these young ladies to help them and stop them from, doing the same things that this 2,000 body count woman did? Well, what you're doing right now is you're okaying that they do their shit, right? Hey, you can go out here and sleep with 2,000 niggas right now. And if you take a step back and you stop fucking niggas and you stop doing all this other shit like that, you're a born again fucking virgin. Now, this is fucking dangerous. Cause like, if you trying to talk to these young girls, that's not the rhetoric you should be giving them, right? You giving them a fucking way out. You giving them a back door out of fucking Hodem. Now, I understand you saying, well, the molecular levels of I get it. But according to all the fucking men across the panel, you will be judged. You go out there and you fuck 2,000 niggas. In your head, you are born again. But to the rest of these niggas on the fucking panel, the niggas that's in the fucking chat right now, you are still a girl that went out here and fucked 2,000 niggas, bro. You are.
So let me answer that, and it's real quick.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Ladies, there is no fucking hope for you if you go out there and fuck 2,000 niggas. I hear what he's talking about and the sciences and all that shit behind it. But we don't fucking care about the goddamn science.